Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently cruising on forward towards the death knell of the Raj. And of course, we've got ourselves the end of the fiscal year coming up here. So that all looks good. We're just going to be building for now. And I did run the game ahead a little bit to test what happens if we release the British Raj. They get all of this territory except this state, because they don't have a core on this. So I don't think that we should release the British Raj, at least not at this time. Perhaps eventually, but we just finished up the advanced computing machine. Okay, that sounds good. Let's start working on some of this fortification engineering. Being able to make more forts does sound like a good thing if we need them, which we don't currently. So that's all great, but that means that we do not want to release British Raj, at least not yet. We're going to need to unlock a bunch of these building slots eventually. So at a certain point, it might make sense to release British Raj and unlock all of those building slots. But as it is, probably not, is what I'm thinking. So that's all fine. We've got all this funnel industry, right? And I would definitely like to do that, but this is the end of the fiscal year here. So we've got 2 taxable civilian factories. It goes up to 6 and we've now paid no dividends. So I don't think this actually does what it says on the tin. When the end of the fiscal year times out, it should remove the 4 civilian factories at that point. But it seems to be, because this is currently failed, it seems to count it now. So if we pay out the dividends now, we lose those factories, which is fine. But then my question is, when the fiscal year starts, which it doesn't start right away, so the fiscal year is going to be constantly drifting throughout the year. It's kind of awkward. But when the fiscal year starts up here, my question is, are we still going to have to pay out dividends? I don't think we are. Okay, we don't have paid dividends in here. I'm not sure where exactly that ends up being. Okay. So yeah, releasing the Raj releases our capital state as well, which I didn't expect when I ran through it previously, so that's definitely good to know. We ended up with just this state out over here, which isn't exactly ideal. So for now, we're not going to be releasing the British Raj. I think that's very clear. Okay, so there's the death knell of the Raj. Excellent. And Japan had some territory occupied up here awkwardly, but we got it back, so that looks great. So the British Raj has some troops out over here. We're going to want to pull them back. I'm just going to toss them into a new army for now and tell them, just area defend over here. Just come on back. So that looks good for now. I looked through these, and I think that we should probably skip this for the moment. I mean, mass production, that's a lot of reliability loss for production cost reduction. For now, we don't need that. We might need it eventually, but for now, we do not. So there's just good business here, which would give us a couple of naval dockyards and some annex workles that we cannot utilize. We can't use those because declaring war would be unethical. We're a very ethical company. I don't know what you're talking about. We're extraordinarily ethical. Yeah, we have exiled divisions. They'll make their way back. So that looks good for now. There's military police finishing. So we have 15 army experience at this point. So I want to go into our division designer. I want to decommission all of these divisions. And I want to edit this and just add in a military police support company. There we go. So that looks good. At this point, we do have another research slot available, and there's a number of things that we could work on. We could work on getting some artillery up, and I think that's not a terrible idea. Boosting our artillery is probably pretty okay. This will help our defense a fair amount, but we could also work on our motorized recon a little bit. So that would include this is just a recon company here. We would need to be down here, I think. Where's the motorized recon companies at these days? I actually don't know. We could continue to work on some of this stuff, though. I mean, this would boost our infantry and motorized and mechanized infantry defense. So, sure. We'll take this. So that looks good. Okay, we also got some manpower. How much are we gaining now? 368 per month? Okay, that's not very much, but that is absolutely fine for now. So that looks okay, and now that the Raj is annexed, I do want to hop in here and queue up some additional civilian factories. So in any of these locations that can have civilian factories, we want to queue them, although I'm putting them at the top of the queue, and that's not necessarily where I actually want them. But this is fine for now. So we can just do something kind of like this. This is not queuing up anymore, but okay. So yeah, we can definitely queue up a lot of civilian factories up over here. So it would end up being something like that. And then I want to head down to Bombay. We'll move that back up to the top. And I want to sort these so that we are building in our vassal locations first. Although, actually, now that I think about that, we may want to consider building in our locations first and then funneling that to our vassals. So that would end up being something kind of like this. Yeah, something kind of like that. So we can do that for the time being. This is not fully queued up, nor is this, nor is this. And nor is this. Hang on. That closed on us. Okay, there we go. So that'll be fine for now. It's going to take a while to get that all done, of course. But as we get this worked on, we should see a significant boost. We have a lot of taxable civilian factories right now. And for the moment... Now, we're still in the first tax bracket here, by the way. But for the moment, we may want to consider funneling industry. I'm definitely leaning towards funneling industry. So I'm just going to funnel to all of these. That's going to boost construction speed. Okay. That's going to end up being something like that for now. Cool. So we just funneled over a bunch of industry there. And we're going to continue constructing at about the same speed, although it will be slightly faster in some regards. But the real important thing here is that that moves a building slot into these areas. That's the real gain here. So that's very good. And that, of course, means that we can also queue up additional civilian factories here, and apparently one here, and some down over here. Some of these moved from various locations. Okay, so we want to move these guys right on down. There we go. And I don't really care where these build, as long as they get built in our territory. So that seems good, and we can lower the autonomy of a subject. We should start doing this. So this would be Hyderabad. So this is an integrated puppet. Now, this is what we need to get them to annex. That's going to take some time. But that's absolutely okay. So we'll continue to work on our unchecked capitalism here. A subject may soon raise its autonomy. Is it going up? No, it's going down. So it's not going to soon raise its autonomy. Cool. So that looks fine. Now, if we go into here, we can see that we've got Kashmir that we can release, which we want to do. We've got Madras, princely states, which we can release. And then we've got the British Raj. We don't want to release this one. And the reason why we don't want to release this one is it's going to release everything here except this. So that's not great. We definitely don't want to do that. Not yet, anyway. Well, there's just good business finishing up. And then we can go for either of these. Nothing personal or crush the anathema. This just gives us Workles. So we don't actually care about that, but the decision to core Indian, Pakistani, and Bangladeshi states would be pretty okay, and unlocks decisions to core own states with high compliance using consumer goods factories factor and political power sounds pretty good too. So we need to take one of these, and we're going to go with crush the anathema. There's a lot of communists, so we're going to go with that. And then we are going to unlock the ability to do core. So that looks good. The Confederacy of American States has capitulated, which means that the communists won in the U.S. Okay. I wish them luck in that. The Danish Civil Union. Okay. So more communists. Sounds good. So we're currently mobilizing up a lot of manpower right now. and that's not necessarily surprising. This is a good thing, ultimately. We need to get this manpower in. So where are the others at here? Okay, you're sailing. Sounds good. It's going to take them some time to get there. No doubt about it, it's going to take them time. Well, that's fine for now. They're just chilling over here. So that looks good for the moment. How are we doing on our taxable factories? We have none. Okay. So we definitely need to get some of these constructions finished. We're constructing at a pretty good pace, though. I'm surprised we have no taxable factories right now. This must have to do with our consumer goods quotient. Yeah. Okay. So the people are currently expecting 10% of our factories to produce consumer goods. Noted. So for now, that seems reasonably okay. I do want to get all of this construction complete, but that's going to take a while. But it's going to be a snowball, right? We're going to get these civilian factories built very quickly. Now, we can start thinking about purchasing other land up over here. It's going to start being more expensive. Okay, the game was frozen there for a moment. The French Commune capitulated. That's interesting. So our volunteer forces are on their way back. Well, okay then. The British Empire is fascist, right? Yeah, it is. And France is now democratic. Okay, Germany is, I think, also democratic. Yeah, the workers have prevailed in the Second American Civil War. Okay, well, sure. We don't like all that unionization going on over there, though. That's pretty cringe. After all, we got to have all those funds to purchase all of this territory. We've got a ways to go. So that's absolutely fine. Currently, we could definitely do more funneling. We could also think about doing more purchases. And I think right now... Well, we know that it was Hyderabad that is the furthest ahead, right? I think. Well, there's Crush the Anathema finishing. We may as well grab rebranding. There we go. So that seems fine. And then in here, yeah, I don't want to do British Raj. So let's close that, go into Manage Subjects, and this is actually the Western Indian States. Actually, no, hang on. There we go. It is Hyderabad that is the furthest along. Okay, so we're going to need a bunch of political power to reduce that autonomy. That's definitely noted. Our political power is not growing very quickly, so political power is going to be one of our big, big weaknesses. No doubt about that. Currently, we have 4 taxable civilian factories, and to be honest, I want to just keep tossing these factories at our vassals. That is the way to go, in my opinion. So there's Construction 5 finishing. That is a very big deal. Yeah, that's not going to be a thing. Okay. So at this point, we can start gathering, like, excavation. I think that's not a terrible thing to do. So let's grab Excavation 1. That'll help with some of our resource penalties. Some of them. Not many, because we're exporting so much. But British Malaya has capitulated. I didn't know they still existed, but sure. And we're currently constructing 6 factories at full speed, and then half of another one. Nice. So 6.5 full speed factories. That's looking very, very good. We're making solid progress on that one. And with Construction 5, that is, of course, building quite a lot faster. So this is currently going to be... Yeah, it's roughly a month and a half per factory. Roughly. Somewhere around there. State infrastructure times 1.2. State infrastructure does boost it. I thought so. It doesn't say it in this tooltip, though. That's kind of remarkable. So the question is, should we boost infrastructure right now? It also boosts our extraction. I'm leaning towards yes. Okay, so we're just getting all of this done. Let's just get that queued up. And how long does it take to build each infrastructure? Should be relatively quick, I think. Let's see here. 11 March. Yeah, that's under a month per level. So let's just get that done. That will apparently boost the construction speed. So that sounds good. The Somali Sultanate declared war on the United Kingdom as opposed to the British Empire. Okay. I didn't know the United Kingdom still existed. They've got 2 provinces. Okay. Sure, that seems fine. So we just finished up on our fortification level. Let's grab another fortification level here for coastal forts. But we're also interested in grabbing those land forts. So we'll just slowly make our way through those researches. And for the moment, yeah, I want to get these constructions done here. I want to... The order of this doesn't really matter to me, does it? No, I think the order is what it is. It's just fine. We'll just let it go. So there's only so many levels of infrastructure that we need to get built here, and there's a number of those levels. But I want to check in on how we're doing on our taxable factories right now. We have 4. Okay, let's go ahead and funnel a little bit more industry here. So what we're doing there is we're investing in getting building slots. So that's great. But it's going to be a little bit of a, like, side quest to get this done, right? So that's going to take a little while. No doubt about that. But I think in the end, it'll be worth it. Czechoslovak Republic declaring war on Hungary. Okay. Well, things are going to get exciting over here for sure. I didn't know Hungary still existed. Look at that. They've got 1 province. Adorable. So, things are definitely awkward out over here. That's for sure. World tension will eventually start to come down. But there's our infantry equipment upgrade finishing. So we can continue to work on these, and that would be absolutely fine to do. Additional defense is always a good thing for us. So we'll continue to do that. We don't want to attack and take territory. We just want to be able to hold the territory that we have, right? So that'll be absolutely wonderful. Why do we only have 4 here? Did we not send 9? Maybe 4 got stack wiped. Interesting. Well, I'm going to put 2 of them into here and then 2 of them into here. Now, we could actually send them out again. So this would be 4. And then this would be an additional 5 because we're limited to 9, right? And then if we put in a commander here, sure, you'll do. If we put in a commander here and send them to, I don't know, maybe the British Empire? Who else is in a big war right now? I don't feel like the British Empire is in a big war. Japan. Japan is going to be in a big war, right? Or the Soviets, actually. The Soviets versus the SSSR. So they're both communist. But sure, we could send some volunteers here. That would be this guy. I just want to check here. Okay. So we'll send these on over. And they're going to be on transit. Okay. There we go. Greater Portugal took 1 state. Spain has capitulated. Sure. Chile is triggering a naval arms race. We just finished the truck, though. So that is absolutely wonderful. Getting the truck is a fairly big deal. And to that end, do we have any other support company types that we want here? Well, yes. Helicopter recon, regular recon. Okay, sure. But what I'm really looking for here is something to further increase our, well, defense. And I think ultimately we'll take interwar artillery for that end. So that looks fine for now. Concentrated Industry 5 is going to finish up soon. And that looks good. How are we doing on all this construction? Well, we've got a ways to go yet on it. As you can see, we're trying to get down to here. But we're actually making very solid progress here. No doubt about that. This is building fairly quickly. And keep in mind, our vassals are continuing to build factories in the background. So at this point, we have 1 taxable civilian factory. We haven't been heavily building them as of yet. But if we check in here, we can see that this is state infrastructure times 1.6. There are 2 in the queue here. So that means, yeah, each one is a 20% boost to construction speed. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So Concentrated Industry 5 and rebranding both just finished. So let's work then on another excavation tech, I think. There we go. We have outdated equipment in production. We're producing the early truck. We should move this over to the regular truck. There we go. That'll be fine. And our volunteer forces are in transfer. I don't care about nothing personal, so we might want to start thinking about going out over, like, this way. Or maybe even getting this stuff up here. So this is adding military factories. We can convert those to civilian, and they do give us building slots. So that's neat. But I'm also thinking about going over here. So this would get us base stability. And this would be working towards getting a navy going, which is probably not a terrible idea. But I'm also very, very tempted to work on some of these railways. Okay, let's get that going. So that'll be fine for now. Okay, 9 divisions we sent to the Soviet Union have arrived in Leningrad. So we need to select these guys, and we're just going to frontline this, and they're just going to defend it. They're not actually going to attack. Well, I mean, they probably will, but they're not intended to attack. They're just going to help hold the line. Okay, so there's excavation 1. Looks good. So that, of course, means that we want to grab excavation 3. Fantastic. So we're going to blitz through a lot of these technologies, and that's great. Checking in here on the progress on our construction, it's definitely going quickly. Like, this is about 2 weeks per level, so this is not going to be that long of a side adventure, but I definitely want to get these going. So that'll be fantastic. We'll get our factories going again soon, but this is going to be a big, big deal for us. So that sounds great. Have we unlocked the ability to do cores here? This is foreign influence. We may already have cores on these. Actually, if we look at this, this is an occupied state. This here is a core state. So then this out over here, we released. So that's fine. But this being an occupied state, of course, means that we only have access to 2% of the state's manpower, and we have resistance. So that's understood. We'll need to deal with that resistance. And I believe that the resistance had to be at a certain threshold with high compliance. Okay. So that's what we're angling for then, would be high compliance. So the compliance strength is 4.1. The growth is 0.48. So this should be reasonably fine. We'll get there. So that seems good for now. We have a decent amount of political power, and of course, that means that we want to lower the autonomy of a subject. We can do the Western Indian states. Consider it done. So that's where we're putting our political power for now. Panama capitulated. Okay. And these guys here, I want to make sure that they are swapped over to the proper infantry division. So that'll be like this. Yeah, for a second there, I thought I clicked on the district garrison, but no. Okay. So I'll just do something along the lines of that. Okay, so with that done, we can now move these guys like 3 and 3 into these armies. There we go. That'll do for now. And are we still recruiting? Yes, we are. What are we waiting on? Equipment? Specifically support equipment, trucks, and artillery. Support equipment. Yeah, we're not making any of that, are we? We should have at least a couple factories working on that. So we'll take that down to here. And then we'll just do something kind of like this for now. And this is infantry equipment 1. We don't have access to infantry equipment 2 yet. So that seems fine. Excellent. So things are progressing nicely here. We just need to get all of the infrastructure here built. And that will be a significant boost to our construction speed. In the end, that will double our construction speed. So that's a very, very big deal. it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue capitalizing on this capitalism. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time. Also, I just found, I had seen this previously, but yeah, this is the core ring right here. That's a lot of consumer goods factories factor.